Hey everybody, welcome to session number 5 of how to make money with email. We were just discussing, as people are logging in here, we're talking about unsubscribes and how that works. So I actually, depending on my newsletter, sometimes I will make the unsubscribe button like ridiculously prominent, like put it way up top. I've had that. And now the reasons why you might want to do that is takes a total 180 approach from where I used to be. Like I used to ask the question, can I hide the unsubscribe? I didn't want them to unsubscribe. This was back in the e-commerce days when I was doing daily deals. For most of us, especially in the content space, deliverability is everything. And it's a little bit of a finicky monster. So you don't want anybody on there that's going to hit the spam. It's so easy to do, just to hit that little spam button. That's going to put you in the doghouse real fast if you get too many of those alerts. And so if you're sending something aggressive, depends on who you are and what you're doing. But let's say you come up with this course and you know you're being aggressive. Put the unsubscribe up top so that it's easier for them to click that than for them to click spam. All right. That's just how important the deliverability aspect of this all is. Now, a couple of I don't know if I've addressed this. I apologize if this is a repeat, but there's some old practices that aren't relevant anymore. It used to be that there were words like that would flag you immediately, free, or that kind of thing. So you don't have to avoid those words. Just be good in your content, and be human, and you're going to be fine. Your sender reputation is really about how are people opening and clicking your stuff. That's it. It's not about whether you put images in an email. It used to be that was a concern. That's not a thing anymore. So if you send emails that, I was just talking with Alyssa, who is the deliverability expert at ConvertKit, which is the platform I use the most. And we were discussing the difference between opens, clicks, and replies. So if they open, that's a good sign. If they click, that's a better sign that somebody is engaged with your stuff. If they reply, it's as if that's the stuff that's going to get you in the inbox folder versus the promo tab. So if you can come up with ways to get them to reply, because most people won't do that whole thing of whitelist me. You can ask, but most people just don't bother anymore. They're blind to that. But getting people to reply is huge. So if you send your first email and you ask a question that is not just a kind of an empty-hearted, that's not even a thing, empty-hearted, I just came up with that, empty-hearted question, where you're not really getting to the heart of something that they're interested in. But if you ask a straight-up question that they can easily reply to, your deliverability scores go up dramatically. So keep that in mind. It's a great thing, even if it's overwhelming. I have some clients that are like, I don't want replies. I have to answer them. Well, you don't have to answer everybody, but that's up to you. But you do want the replies from a deliverability standpoint as a signal. Okay, off of that little tangent, I'm going to share with you today a few things that are just kind of a part of who I am and how I do email. There's a lot of the old has become new again in what I'm going to share with you today. We talked about selling a product on Monday. I hope that somebody got some ideas about what to sell and how to sell it, how to build the trust, how to build the segments. Today, we're going to talk about a different way to make money that is not as interesting to a lot of my blogging friends, because they're used to making the sponsorship monies. And we'll talk about that too. But today, I want to talk about something that you can just turn on as an automation in your emails. So let me share my screen. And of course, I'm going to start with a story. This is my family. A few years back before COVID, they all got old enough and it made sense for us to go on a big trip. And we went on a 3-week trip across Europe. And we were hitting all sorts of cities and countries and hopping on and off trains. And we had this, I had this grand idea that we would travel light. And so I got these backpacks, and they're from Peak Design, and they're fantastic because just throw them on, and we were trucking We didn't want to drag stuff, so we're trucking up and down stairs and mountains and all that. And it was so simple, especially when you coupled it with these compression cubes. Anybody use compression cubes? These things are like, I think they're invented by NASA. It's like space age science, because you take one of them and you stick your stuff in it. You put your jackets and your sweaters in one and zip it up, and it shrinks it down as tight as it can go. And then you can put your unmentionables in another one, and then they can fit them all into your Peak Design travel backpack. And oh, look at this vista. This was in Switzerland somewhere. But quick, looking at the mountains, look at my shoes. These are my Allbirds that, my goodness, they were so comfortable. And I wanted something that I could wear because I was going to be on my feet a lot, and I wanted the comfort, and I wanted to be able to just throw them in a washing machine as they got dirty. And of course, since we were traveling across so many places and such long distances, I had to have my Sony noise canceling headphones. When I was on the plane, you put these things on and boom, the world just disappears. Riyadh might be wearing one right now. These things are legit. So why am I telling you about my travel log? Why am I bragging about that? That, okay, I went to some cool places. Well, because I think that affiliate marketing is a highly overlooked opportunity for many of my blogging friends. Now, look, most of you, I'm just going to say this up front, most of you are not going to get rich off of affiliate marketing, but we are all looking for steady, reliable, incremental revenue streams. So let's talk about affiliate marketing. But before this, I really want you to play along. Those of you who are are here live with me, because this is actually one of the funnest things that I do. I really enjoy this. So play along with me. Let's make a list. And I want you to, in the chat, I want you to share with me as many tools related to your business and related to your content, whatever, that you can. Tools that you just simply can't live without because they make your life easy or more comfortable, that they save you time and money. They do the work of a lot of other tools, and they just make you feel smart, or you just can't stop talking about them, like me and my noise canceling headphones. All right, here we go. I'm gonna have a sip of my fancy water while you give me your list. I know you have it, so it's time to share. Start writing. What are some of those things that you just can't live without? If you don't share, we're just going to sit here and look at each other for an hour. Right? This is how serious I am about this. This is I don't want it to be awkward, but it will be. That water is fancy. Okay, here they come. Here they come. Darcy, dehydrated. That was a shocker to me right there. Which brand? Come on. I know there's a specific brand that you love and that you use. Same with your vegetable chopper. Mason jars, mushroom slicer, not just any old mushroom slicer, any old vacuum sealer will do. I know that you have a favorite. Let's hear what it is. I want to know specific names. Let's get brands in here. Let's go. All right. iPhone, I assume that's Bren. We've got spray bottles and a vacuum. Good. But come on, which is your vacuum of choice? I know you have a favorite. One that you use every day and that you've been using for the last 5 years because it's so good. A pumice stone. I could use a good pumice stone. All right. Riyadh, what brand are those headphones? Trello. I use Trello too. I like Trello. I use it a lot. Good recommendation. All right, you're Bose boy. I see. Okay, that's cool. We can still kind of be friends. Just don't meet me in back alley with my Sony headphones on. I probably won't hear you. Thermopin. I don't even know what that is. That sounds important though. Is that a brand? A Thermopin? Okay. Pocket tripod. Like literally in your pocket. So it's like you carry this thing around with you. I bought this thing off of, I never do this. And I bought this thing off of a Facebook ad not long ago, and it actually goes in your wallet. It's the size of a credit card, and it folds this way and that way, and then you set it up and you put your iPhone on it and I've actually used it a couple of times, but it certainly was not the $50 that I spent through that Facebook ad. Espresso machine, okay. I'm sure there's a brand. You gave me a brand on the Vitamix. No blend text for you, huh? It's all Vitamix all the time. The Boom Arm C stand. Oh yeah, okay. Taking videos or pictures or something, I assume. All right. Okay. Look, this already sparked a conversation, didn't it? It got us thinking. Like, I'm curious how Riyadh, no, don't answer this is rhetorical, how he uses Trello versus how I do my project management. I'm curious what the heck you do in life with a Thermopin, or how you're using. Some of you on this call are also curious to know how Tracy is using that Boom Arm stand to do her video or her pocket tripod. Darcy's dehydrator of choice, the Acme Dehydrator 2000, is amazing. It dehydrates something, all you have to do is set it in a desert and it'll dehydrate over, the course of a summer. It's fantastic. So, these products are meaningful to you. You're willing and excited to talk about them. Guess what? You are a subject matter expert, and you're probably not talking about this stuff as much as you could. So there's a few general rules to being good at affiliate marketing. It's all the same rule. I need to get rid of this slide because it's really the same thing. If you are being helpful in a natural way, if you're being honest about your experiences, authentic, and then of course transparent that you have an affiliate relationship, you are being a good affiliate marketer. Marketing always comes down to this right here. What problem can you solve? What do you know that others would love to know? Have you noticed that we haven't even talked about email yet? Once again, we're talking about marketing principles that we get to apply to email. And before we even apply to email, let's talk about this. Creating the affiliate ready content. I'm going to show you some different examples here. My Picture the Magic website, Disney Cruise Insurance. This is not the first thing people want to know or even think about, but at some point it makes sense for them to do so because it's an expensive vacation. And so I give them a thoughtful analysis of whether or not you actually need Disney Cruise Insurance. So you probably could be doing the same thing with how a particular item can make your life better. All right. Natasha teaches you how to sharpen knife blade. And you can bet that Natasha has specific knives that she prefers while she's giving this very authentic and informative content. Maybe you could be making a list of things that you just simply can't live without related to your topic. If I'm traveling, I can't live without my noise canceling headphones. My wife and I are going on a big trip soon, and we were just having this discussion. She's talking about leaving hers behind, and I'm like, you are a crazy person. All it takes is one little baby, and those babies are so cute. But the change in pressure hurts their ears, and then they cry for 12 hours. What about in your world? What are the new releases? What are the new whiz bang cool accessories or tools or whatever? If you're into crafts at all, you know that Cricut or some of those companies are releasing new stuff every 5 minutes, and it's hard to keep up with. So what is it for you? Maybe you have a starter kit. If you're getting started in dehydrating, there's probably a lot of things that you could do, but you probably shouldn't as a starter. You should probably just start with 1, 2, or 3 things. So what you need and what you don't can be very helpful. You're a rock star with your people. So some of your favorite things, just your personal favorites, because you like them, as I like mine, become meaningful. Gift guides are a no-brainer. This is the type of stuff, Jansen from Everyday Reading, she does this every year, every season, she does a gift guide. And she makes really good affiliate money off of it. And her audience doesn't see her as a shill. They see her as just giving helpful suggestions because she's closer to this stuff. You can also, and I know you're not deal bloggers, most of you, but you can also talk about what is a good value and what is a deal. Let me give you a for instance here. So Merrick is a fashion and sewing blogger. And so when the Nordstrom semi-annual sale comes out every other month or whatever it is, she knows that of the 5 billion things that are listed in that sale, only a handful of them are actually a deal. And so she can share those with you. So she's cutting through all the noise. Same thing is true for Black Friday, right? Look, I'm guilty of this. We listed stuff as deals at Black Friday that were not deals. We were selling at the same price all year long. It's just people are paying more attention at that time. So somebody like Jen can bust through that noise and give you, tell you what the best deals are. Same is true for Amazon Prime Day or any of those other types of events. Okay. Do you have content like this ready? Have you thought this through? Are you promoting it? Let's talk about how to promote it. How can we use email to actually drive affiliate sales now? All right. First of all, an obvious one is adding Cornerstone content that is affiliate driven to your Quick Start Guide, to your broadcasts, calendar, to your Forever series. It's basically what I'm saying is don't forget about it. So in the case of the Disney Cruise insurance, so that, as you can imagine, if that were email number one, that would feel very salesy. In my Forever series, however, it's like week 15 or something. So after you've been going through learning about Pirate Night, where to stand to see the fireworks on the ship, Matt and Alicia have given you really great information. And by the time I say, have you thought about trip insurance? You might want to. I've built up the trust enough to have that conversation. And this one affiliate offer was covering the cost of my ConvertKit list every single month. It wasn't making me rich, but I set it and forget it. It's bringing them back to the website. I'm not even talking about any ad views I saw or got because they came back to the website to read the content. I'm just talking about straight up the affiliate kickback that people signed up for. So what is that for you? What are some things that you can add into your Forever series? Sally from Sally's Baking Addiction. I don't know if she still does this. I haven't checked her Forever series for some time, but she had her favorite baking tools early on within the first 10 emails. Why is that helpful? Because we trust Sally. Sally is in the kitchen all day long, every day. We are not, hopefully, unless that's our job. And so what she knows can save us a ton of time. You know what I'm talking about. If you're a food blogger, you know what I'm talking about. You have seen, and even if you're not, let's say that somebody like Sally goes on her Instagram and she goes, all right, let me show you I'm going to walk you through my pantry. We are glued to that. Like, okay, what is she showing? How does she organize? How does she label those cute little boxes? I don't know, but we are glued to that because that's what influencers do. They make our life a little bit smarter and easier. Next up is send seasonal broadcasts related to your content. All right, just don't leave it out of your content calendar. That could be a bonus email, or it could be just be a timely email. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Black Friday in a moment, but that's just an example there. Here's a cool thing that you could be doing that you're probably not and probably never thought of, is you could use the email marketing automation to drive people to evergreen sequences or series about your affiliate content. Example, let's say that you send an email of a bunch of recipes, and one of those emails or one of those recipes is Instant Pot. What do we know about that person that clicks on that? They probably have an Instant Pot. That could trigger a kickoff an automation of a series that talks about 5 ways to get more from your Instant Pot. In that, of course, you could mention the accessories that you think you should buy, the type of Instant Pot you should buy, and so forth. Instant affiliate revenue that's just running constantly. You don't even have to think about it. You wrote it one time, you use the automations to trigger it based off of what you know about that subscriber. You can also add affiliate content to a template. Every single platform has a template, which gives you a header, a footer, and other things. Some have things called content snippets, which are like reusable blocks that pull in lists. Here's an example. This is Corey from Hey Let's Make Stuff. She was in my course in this mastermind, and she shared with us that this works really well for her. She's a Cricut influencer, an affiliate. Cricut has a really good paying affiliate program, by the way. So what she does is she has this deals and steals section that she just puts in her template. And she just swaps out the template stuff from time to time. So like her Cricut coupon code is always there. This is useful to Cricut users that they get to get an extra 10% off, and she benefits by doing that. I don't even remember what this slide is. Oh, you can do, so this is Nourish Move Love. She has almost like a sponsorship spot. You see it over here in this post-workout fuel spot here. She gets a good deal of, she kind of rotates these through as if they're sponsors. And so she has a regular, steady stream of income on these spots that aren't filled with sponsors. She just promotes whatever she's promoting. And then if she has a sponsorship, she'll swap that out. So she doesn't let that sponsorship spot go to waste. Now, here's a way that you can make money with affiliate today. Let's go back to our Instant Pot series idea, or whatever it may be. Actually, let's think about this for a second. Let's go to all y'all's stuff here. All right. Darcy, let's talk about the dehydrator. Now, she may have, at the Purposeful Pantry, may have a lot of subscribers that have dehydrated before. However, they don't do it all the time. So there are we can make assumptions that they know everything about using their device. However, that is probably not the case. The how to make the most of a dehydrator over this summer has some interesting applications. You may be doing your own gardening, and then you want to use this for your own vegetables. I know that there's seasonality to this particular product. So how to use it might be a 5 email sequence. It might be a 10 email sequence. It might be a 2 email sequence. You go out to your existing list and you say, hey, everybody, I made this new series of how to use a dehydrator. If you'd like it, click here and you'll be automatically subscribed to the new series. This is going away at the end of June. You have to act now to get in this series. It's going away. And then you promote it big on your social and all over. You pretend like this is a full-on thing. Now you might even get sponsors on this. That would be pretty smart. But at bare minimum, in that series, there's going to be which dehydrator to buy because stuff has changed in the space. Which accessories will save you time that you use every single day. 3 different ways to use it. Right? See where we're going with this? You're providing a ton of value. And then next year, guess what? You launch it again. You've got it sitting there for next summer. You change it up a little bit. Again, time-bound matters here. Don't overlook that. Take advantage of seasonality. Take advantage of what people are thinking about at that time. By the way, I have a client, Paisley and Sparrow, and she's got a summer style quick start guide, and it's working great. It's got a lot of affiliate links to Madewell, and I don't know, she's got some other dresses from different places that she bought, but she's illustrating different styles and then sharing the links to those, and those are affiliate links. Now, before anybody asks, you got to check the rules for what you can include in email. Amazon is the biggie. They're particular about, they don't want you to link directly to a product in email. Heavens knows why. But most everybody else is cool with it. They're fine with you linking directly. Cricut is fine with you linking directly to their product pages. So you just check the rules on what you can and can't do, but just be smart. Black Friday. Let's talk about Black Friday. This is a great time that most bloggers miss out on. If you have any Google authority at all, this is a little hack. Create a guide of the best dehydrator deals for Black Friday. You'll probably rank for it. And you'll probably rank for it year after year after year. And then you or your VA, you just go update it with really great deals that you find from Black Friday. You can make thousands of dollars depending on your size and scope and what you're promoting. You can make hundreds or thousands of dollars just from this one post, from the affiliate links. And on top of that, you'll benefit from the Raptive advertising. And like I said, you will probably rank for it. That's been my experience with multiple of these types of pages. All right, if you're going to do this, cut through the noise as the subject matter expert here. So I suggest that you actually do the work and point out the real deals. So I have, if you go to, there's this website, Camel, Camel, Camel. Some of you are familiar with this, I'm sure. But basically, let's say that there was a, no, what is it, a Thermopin? Thermopin, I don't even know what that is. Let's see what they say. If there's a particular Thermopin that you want to track, it will, oh, look at that one. It can create this price watch, and it'll send you updates. And you can play around with this site to talk about price drops and all that. What I do is I create a separate email address within my same email address that just filters to a folder to track the deal, the changes on prices. And then when the time comes to go promote, I just go into that folder and I can scan through it and go, okay, the Thermopin, they did just do that. So anyway, that's something if you want to track certain, pricing on certain products, you certainly can do something like that. This is a subject line that I'm giving you a specific subject line here. Obviously, you need to test different things. My point with this subject line is don't get cute at Black Friday time. The inbox is flooded, not just your stuff, but everybody else's. So if you want to stand out, something like, I can't believe I almost missed these, isn't going to work. You have to pop them in the nose with the best deal of Black Friday, the best sewing deal of Black Friday, the best cleaning deal. I don't know, whatever, the top 10. So you just go right at the heart of it. Use these types of subject lines. You may want to increase the number of emails that you're sending around Black Friday. Everybody else is, and you will, most of you will not suffer any sort of punishment from your audience because their inbox, like I said, they get a lot more. They're doing a lot more bulk deletes, right? So you may have to kind of keep up a little bit and send a few more emails. You'll be fine. Just if you don't go crazy different from what you were doing, but send a few more. Here's another idea that this one stemmed from my history at the Daily Deal website. We did a lot of email and we did a lot of affiliate. So I was on the other side of this. If you have a track record with a particular brand, let's say that KitchenAid loves you, KitchenAid, whoever, let's say they love you. Well, let them know that you're going to be doing more pushes and that you'd like an increase in commission. They may have it for you. Ask. Always ask. If you've got any track record at all with them and you're going to do anything special with them, go ask for bonus commission. Additionally, a company like ours could not compete with Target or Walmart or Amazon at Black Friday time. But my boss, you better believe, she wanted my growth to be just like everybody else's at Black Friday. We had numbers to hit. So I could use my budget to spend with partners that I knew would work. So that's what I'm saying. They probably have budgets. And the more narrow you go, the more likelihood is that they're probably going to partner with you. You'll create different deals. They may even craft a deal on their whiz-bang product that's specifically for you. So the consumer saves money and you get bonus commission. We did that stuff all the time. If somebody was willing to push my stuff, you betcha they got discounts and bonus commissions. This is actually a decent time if you're going to do it to offer deals on your own products as well. And then lastly, I'm giving you a subject line that is my favorite subject line of all time. And it is, did you miss it? All right. So I've tested this subject line in more circumstances and more situations than any other over the last 25 years. There's just something about FOMO. Everybody assumes that they missed it. And so when you say, did you miss it? They're like, what did I miss? So this works at Black Friday. You turn around Saturday morning and say, did you miss it? Here were the best deals at Black Friday. Oh, thank you. I did miss it. You can do this July 1st. Did you miss it? Here were the top recipes of June. Just on and on and on. This one subject line is worth the price of admission for this whole mastermind. It's the thing I've tested more than anything besides hair gel. Okay. All right. Is anybody doing anything cool with affiliate that they want to share? Or does anybody have any questions? I know there's some chat going on about Amazon policies and whatnot as far as influencer stores and things. So just check on that before you get too far into it. Some people take some chances there and get away with it. So you'll see people that will put direct links in their emails. They're just running the risk that they might get their hand slapped. All right, let's open it up for questions. If you have any questions or whatever, just go ahead and unmute and I'm happy to answer them. But affiliate is an opportunity. All right. Feeling good about that. Excellent. Let's get out there. Yeah.
I guess everybody knows about Amazon affiliate, but I guess what I assume that the usual suspects that everyone else uses, share a sale, and building through those popular programs are what most of you use.
Does anybody having any experience or things that they love?
I try to partner up with the brand themselves instead of going through any of those like conglomerate sites, because I can get a better commission off of them typically that way if I go directly. So Cosori is a dehydrator brand that I've not partnered with because they refuse to partner with me, even though they say I sell more dehydrators for them than anybody. It frustrates me, but I go directly to them instead of going through, I think they use Share a Sale for their general affiliates. But then what I talked to them about was creating, like I have a page on my website where I can offer a deal that nobody else gets. So I get a better price. I get a little bit better commission, and it's a place that I can send people to straight to say, here's the best deal that you can get on the internet for this particular dehydrator. So it helped to go directly to a brand to work on a deal for me. So I do that with, but I do that with major things that I use. I went to the brand and talked to them about setting up affiliate that way. And most of them had their own version of something that we could work with instead of going through one of those big ones.
Yeah, that was my second question. Like, how are you tracking? Because people use the affiliate programs for the tracking, right? And payouts and stuff. So if you're not working with them on the platform like Share a Sale, how are you tracking their sales? Are they giving you reports? And
there's a dashboard. Almost all of them have a dashboard that you see all that kind of stuff.
But it's not on Share a Sale is what you're saying.
Right. It's their own dashboard for their own thing. Right.
And then you ask for a report so they can accurately tell you.
I can see it on the dashboard.
You have access.
Yeah. There's a dashboard that is given to me, or they have their own, their own setup. So you see all of that stuff.
Interesting. Because I looked at it as more as they use the affiliate program to manage, the tracking and all that. But that's good to know. Thanks.
All right, that's great information. In fact, that dovetails into what I was talking about when I was on that side of it with Darcy, where I was managing those relationships. If you have traffic, if you have a history, you have negotiation power. So don't be afraid to go. You got to find the affiliate manager. You got to find the marketing person. Sometimes that's a little bit hard because what they'll do is they'll hire an agency for their general stuff. There's always somebody that manages the agency. The agency rep can very seldom do anything for you. It's a junior level executive that has been told to create some coupon codes and to keep emailing out to everybody that's on their ShareASale platform or on their Commission Junction platform. Like Darcy's talking about, getting to the brand is where the money is. So whatever that means. And if you have the sales, that person may not even know. So if you've had a track record in ShareASale, for example, and you're seeing that there's a lot of sales. So I've done the thing where I've created a pitch and I've gone to them and said, look, I know I sent you this much traffic, or I sent you this much, let's do something special. And that usually gets you in the door. I've done that many times with brands. I've done that with email platforms. I've done that with email software pop-ups and things like that. I've done that with Disney travel agents. I've done it with sewing and quilting and Cricut machines. I've done it a lot. So yeah, just simply knowing your numbers and your potential and having a plan helps. Like, don't just go there and say, I want more. Go there and say, I want more because I'm going to do more. And here's what I'm going to do. That person on the other side, usually it's like a no-brainer. Like, I want to keep you happy. I see that you are driving me sales. I want to keep you happy, and I want to pull this relationship tighter. So that's what most of them will do. Good question. Just to piggyback on that too, is, for example, Lego had this free Lego magazine that they were running through an affiliate program. And all it was is this cute little, I don't know, 10-page kind of like mail, well, it's a magazine, I guess. And it was mostly an advertisement for Lego products. But I pitched that as, in fact, let me show you. Now it's not there, it's not available anymore. But this page, I don't even know what's going to come up. I haven't looked at it in so long. Let's see what happens. So I created a whole, I knew how to make blog posts and stuff. So I created a whole thing about how to get it. Click this link to request it. Step by step. Here's how to order it. You will not be asked for your credit card. This is way more than most people do to promote an affiliate offer. But I was making, I don't know, can't remember what it was, $3 or $4 each. And my big audience, every time I sent it out, I was making several $100s. So to have somebody whip this up, and then I was able to leverage this for months. It was actually, by the way, this was part of my, this one was so lucrative. It was part of my onboarding experience. I had it like, it's like 5 resources you must get or something. It wasn't, I didn't say it that way, but that was the gist of it. It was a link within an early email in an early quick start guide, the 5 freebies that you just got to get. And this was, they're Disney, and then bonus, you'll probably love Lego too. And then they just had people just eat that up. So if you create, this kind of offer, what's another example? I think I've did these with okay, so I had to pivot this. At one point, you could get Disney Plus free through certain things, but here's how to get a cheap Disney Plus subscription. Then you go through this, and it walks you through step by step how to use Rakuten to save money on your Disney Plus annual subscription. Crushed it. So this type of stuff just goes hand in hand with creating the content, thinking it through as a user, how to take advantage of it, and then how to promote it in your email. All right, let's pivot for a second. That's affiliate. Let's talk about getting sponsorships. So, does anybody do sponsorships of their newsletter today? It's not a very common thing. Most people don't. Reason for that is that aside from maybe there's a brand protection kind of thing, you feel like that might cheapen your experience. Sponsorships in ads in newsletters is becoming more and more of a thing. And just like ads are everywhere on YouTube videos, all of our social media networks, email is no exception. We have plenty of examples of people that are making money with ads in their emails. I'm going to show you some examples here, if I can find it. Let's just go through this. My intention here is not to take anything away from what you're doing with Raptive. In fact, this should be incremental. There's lots of opportunities as you grow the list bigger and more targeted, because brands want to work with people who have access to that audience. All right, here's my screen. Let's go. All right. So here's just a few different things that you could do. All right. So this is a Scott's Cheap Flight. They're obviously had a book last minute trip this summer. But look, together with zero sugar hydration. Stay hydrated when you travel this summer. Start hydrating. Now I know that's a big ad. That's a big ad, but they're getting a big check here. All right. And then let the deals pick your destination, and then they have all the content. And there's another ad. Look to the points. More travel news. Another ad. If you start getting Scott's stuff and you enjoy his content, you're not going to be freaked out about that. I guess that's what I'm trying to combat here, is to illustrate, is to go for people who are like, I don't want to advertise. That's fine. You do you. But if that's not necessarily you, or there's a slight chance that you might be interested, there are opportunities now. This is an in-your-face version powered by Live Intent. Copycat clearly has just decided, I am selling out that spot, and so be it, right? But then you get into her copycat recipes. And there's another big one. In this case, she's going to get paid by which type of, just like with AdThrive, ad density, or Raptive, sorry, ad density, what vendors you allow to promote, and where you have them. Riyadh.
Yeah, so with the Live Intent, that's basically like is that like putting a display ad in the email?
It's programmatic advertising, yep.
In email, okay. Yep. Got it. So, but they're just making page view revenue on that. They're not making affiliate commission on that.
Sorry, I switched gears. Sponsorship is different from affiliate. Yes, sorry. Switching.
No, I know, but in that example with the workout clothes, yeah. So that's an ad. They're just making display ad revenue.
Yep. Per impression. You're right. Thank you for making that distinction.
Got it.
So here, this is brought to you by the newsletter Makes You a Better Storyteller. You scroll down. Brought to you by the World Builders. Okay, so it's just a different way that this person is selling a spot in her ads, or in her newsletter. I don't remember what I'm showing you here. Clean plates. Okay, there's an advertisement. They even say advertisement. Okay, and then there's more. So as you can see, there's lots of different ways that this can be done. There's not a one size fits all. Everybody has different choices. This one, Why We Buy, sponsored by Incense. Content, ad, content. Oh, this one's ad, sponsored by Vouch, content. All right. So why am I showing you this? Well, I think you should be aware of the options that are out there and what's happening. So Live Intent's been around for a while, but most people have just kind of, in our space, have kind of ignored it. But there are more companies now that are getting into this game. There's a company called Paved that's been doing it for the last couple of years, where you can do some sort of advertisements in emails. ConvertKit itself has launched something called the ConvertKit Sponsor Network, where they are matching up brands with newsletters. So the idea here is that they would say, look, we know that you've got a food blog and we've got Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens wants to advertise in your food newsletter, and then they take a cut for facilitating it, just like an agency would. So these are happening. If you have a powerful list, you may even want to do this yourself, not rely on Paved or ConvertKit or any other agency. Darcy, for example, might go back to that particular vendor and offer a package deal in the same way you do sponsored posts that includes the newsletter. Here's a tip. If you're going to do this, even if you're not going to do this, if you do any sponsorships at all on your website that you sell, assign a value to your newsletter. Whether or not you ever collect that is irrelevant. Your newsletter has a value, okay? This is not just a throw-in. If you're going to do a package of sponsorship with me, that might include posts, social this, reels that, pin that, and email. Now, if I really want to close the deal on these other things, maybe I'll throw in a few emails for free, which have now a value of $1,500 each or whatever it is. And that just sweetens that deal. If you are relying upon an agency, maybe you got an agent that goes and books sponsorships for you, you'll probably never get email deals. I'm being a jerk now. The problem is that most of those people know nothing about email. It's not a common thing that brands ask for because, let's face it, most bloggers kind of suck at email. So it's not really a revenue thing that they've tapped into. But I'm telling you, if you dive into it, it can be a lucrative, ongoing, recurring placement for you on a little tiny segment of a little tiny list. I had one travel agency that paid me $500 a month for a little tiny segment. And all I had to do for this, and again, it was not a huge, this was a Picture the Magic. This was not a big segment though. So, and honestly, Picture the Magic is not a huge moneymaker for me, but having an extra, $5,000 to $10,000 a year in revenue on that to send one email a month that I was going to probably send anyway, donezo, easy. In fact, it got to the point, so that deal ran for years. We adjusted prices a little bit here and there. It got to the point where I was telling them what I was going to send. They're like, oh, okay, cool. You want to send that? Cool, great. And I would just plan it ahead and I'd say, I'm going to be talking about this other content. I'd like to include you here. Great. The easiest brand in the world to work with. I was the easiest partner because I knew my stuff. If you go through a rep, probably not going to happen as easy. Am I right? Hopefully that's not the case. Those reps they just don't know. They can't think about that dehydrator quick start guide series that you thought of. And that you'll throw that in as this bonus where you can be the sponsor. An example, real life example, huge, massive food blogger client of mine. Went to a huge, massive grocery chain a couple years back and said, I will do, as part of a whole deal, this is part of a package, I will do a quick start guide about summer produce. And each one of the posts will be a sponsored post from that, by that grocery chain. And each email that directs us back to those will also be sponsored by that grocery chain. She got a huge chunk of change by doing that deal. And it was like a 3-month arrangement. She also benefited because she put it out there as her lead magnet. So she's getting new subscribers. They love it because as people are experiencing her, they're signing up and she's pushing them to her sponsored content that they were paying for. So it all worked synergistically. Is that a word? It is. It feels like a word. I was absolutely convinced, by the way, that I had invented the word dramastically. It's drastically and dramatically put together. Dramastically. I was convinced that I invented it. And then I went and researched and it turns out I did not. But anyway, so you can dramatically increase your revenue by doing a little bit more of this sponsorship stuff. Is anybody interested in getting into selling space in their newsletter that has never done that before?
Yeah, I am. I guess for the advertiser, the person that you're going to sponsor in your newsletter, I'm assuming that we need to build our list first before we entertain that, right? Because if we have a small list, I'm assuming they're not going to be too interested yet.
It depends on your niche. I was just listening to a podcast where somebody was in the agricultural space, and there was they had a list of 5,000 people that were in agribusiness, and they had a massive vendor that just wants to be in front of those people. Now, in your case, if you're talking to moms of newborns, for example, who are the brands that are going to want to do that? They're probably going to want a larger audience. In the case of Darcy, though, I don't know the dehydrating world, but there may be some brands, like, for example, in keto, you don't even have to have that big of a list to get people who want to advertise their keto flour or their low carb this or that. So it just depends. It really comes down to another reason why segmentation matters. Remember, I was telling you about that little list? That travel agency focused on one particular type of Disney travel. And so because I had a segment on that type of travel, they paid me every month to send out content that I was going to send out to sponsor stuff that I was going to send out anyway.
And Matt, that content, was that leading them? Did you write a dedicated post, or that was just the email promotion? And did it lead to a paid product for theirs?
Well,
like,
they wanted to
what was
book travel, so it led to a form where you could ask questions and get a free quote. Usually was what they were doing. Sometimes they'd be doing like a deal on tickets to theme park or this or that, but usually it was because they want to get you in and then upsell you the plane tickets and the hotels and all that stuff. So in that particular case, and everybody's gonna be a little different.
So that was like a flat rate per month they paid you, not a commission on those.
Well, actually, they that in that deal it was both. So
that was both,
because I had a commission arrangement, and they did not change that. They didn't take that away from me. So they still used my links. And so if somebody booked something through me, it was just much more lucrative to to do the sponsorship.
Got it.
The question I get is what to charge. The answer is I don't know. It's one of those things where you put it out there, what feels, take whatever you're comfortable with and then ratchet it up by 10% and then put it out there so you're a little uncomfortable, and then people will start saying no to you, and that's when you know that you kind of hit that threshold. If they say yes very quickly, you realize, I left money on the table. Again, I don't really know the answer to that, but just know that your CPMs are going to be much more valuable to that brand than, say, a run of sight type of CPMs. So maybe start there with the type of CPMs that you normally get, and then double, triple, quadruple those. And it's all what you can negotiate. Unfortunately, I don't have a better rule of thumb than that. There's just not a lot of people doing this in our space, which is the opportunity. It's the challenge and the opportunity. If you have here's a little tip if you want to get started. If you've done sponsored posts before, other content, you can go to, I'm almost out of time. You can go back to that brand. They love you. If they like you, this works. If they like you, you go to them and say, remember that sponsored post we did that had so much great traffic and great response? I have been really working on my email list, and I've got a great dedicated audience of X thousands of people. Here's what I'll do. I will do an email power boost. That's a dumb Matt Mullen name. You can come up with something better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send 3 emails, 1 per month, where I'm going to drive people back to that sponsorship, that sponsored post that you already paid me for. We're just going to reinvigorate it. And I'm going to change it up each month. So it's a slightly different email. It's not going to be the same thing, but I'm going to push it. And all I want is 20% of what you paid me the first time for that sponsored post, or 50%, or whatever you say, right? And then what you do is, like, imagine this is a Fleshman's yeast, and that you did a sponsored post on white bread. white bread recipe. You could, email number 1 could be like the perfect avocado toast. In order to have the perfect avocado toast, you need to have the perfect bread. And so that's in there. Number 2 might be, remember the smell of baked bread that your mother used to make? Here's the perfect white bread to make this weekend. Email number 3 could be, you want to teach your child how to bake? Start with bread. See, it's the same thing. Your audience is not going to get sick of it, and your brand is going to love it because you reinvigorated life into that. That's the email power boost if you want to just get started. I have plenty of clients that just started with that because they were scared didn't know who to approach those brands that already love you. Here's the thing with this too, last point I'll make, maybe last one, is make goods are easy with email. Let's say that you send something out and nobody clicks, and it was a swing and a miss. That's all right. In order to appease that brand, you can send another email out in a little bit of time. Make goods are easy. Doesn't cost you anything. All right. Hope that helps a little bit. If you're interested in any of those things or you want to dive deeper, stick around, ask questions. Otherwise, we will see you on Friday where we'll dive into some little bit more random stuff that people are doing to make money with email. Some interesting things happening out there. So since Friday will be kind of our last official time together, bring your questions about your stuff. We'll have time if you want. Like if you have been thinking about or you're going to sit at the park today and think about this, your email strategy for the rest of the year, and you're wondering about a particular piece of that, bring it to me. Odds are I've probably seen that movie before, and I can help you have a happy ending. All right, so just take advantage of that, and I'm happy to dig into some of that strategic stuff with you. All right, if you got to get, we'll see you on Friday. Thanks for being here. Go make some money with your emails.